So I'll just go ahead and search for like moon, and you can see I'm just gonna go ahead and just select one of these. I'll just select this one. And with this here, you can go ahead and play with it by messing with the different sizes. I could put in text, and you could put like your company name here. So in this case, I could put like Luna Digital, and then we can go ahead, rotate the name around, keep it straight. We can resize it to make it the same size as the logo. We can just make it a little bit bigger, and then I'll center that a little bit. We can come in here and edit the text color, so we can make it whatever color we want. I will go back to a blue, and we can go ahead and do other things like coming in here to shapes, and let's see, we can do a circle, and we can make the circle big like this. And what I can do with the circle here is drag it down below, so it would be in the background, and we could say make it like black, make it a little bit bigger. And pretty much you get the gist of it. There's a lot of different ways that you can come in here and play around with different stuff. You can play with fonts. Obviously this doesn't look extremely good, but you're gonna spend a little bit more time on it than I am right here. I just wanted to go ahead and show you quickly how you can go ahead and utilize this, so you can mess with shapes, text, colors, and then you can look for different icons and everything like that. Now for this example, I'm gonna just keep it really simple, and I'm just only going to use this as the base logo. Now if you want a more professional looking logo, I would recommend going to Fiverr, and then just typing in logo, and then find a gig on here, and a lot of these people will design a professional logo for you for anywhere between like $5 to $50. Like a really good logo is going to run you around $50. But for the sake of getting the site up and running, we're just going to do something really basic like this. So what I'm going to do now that this is up is I'm just going to go ahead and save it. And in this case, I'm going to just download the low resolution file for free, just because it's an example site. Now, if you wanted to go ahead and get the high resolution, you can purchase it here. And now let's went ahead and download it. So now that we have our logo, we can come back over here and click change logo, and then we can go ahead and select one to put in here. So we can come here and then select files, and then we can go ahead and upload our image here. And you can see the media library is already filled with a bunch of different images that come base installed with the theme, so that's pretty cool. And we're gonna go ahead and click select, and we're just gonna skip cropping. And now you can see that the logo has now been updated. So we can edit the width if we want. We can make it really big, which obviously that looks terrible, or we can make it a lot smaller. In this case, I'll keep it around, I'm just typing it, we'll keep it at 100. And then down here, we can edit the site title. So sometimes your logo, if it's a logo that includes text, then you can go ahead and just get rid of this entirely if your logo had text in it. But since this logo doesn't, I'll go ahead and just type in a site title, and then we can put in a tagline here, and I'll just get rid of the tagline for the sake of this example. And now we're going to go ahead and just click publish. Alright, so now that we've went ahead and edited the logo and the header, we're going to go ahead and X this out, and we are going to start editing the actual meat and potatoes of the site here. So we're going to get back to the home screen here, and then we're going to click edit with Elementor. I'm going to open this up, and this is a tool that's going to allow us to edit literally everything on the entire site. So as you can see, there's a lot of different widgets over here that we can use, and essentially everything here is a widget. But since we went ahead and imported a site, it's already pre-made with a layout of widgets. So that's essentially what the site is. When you import it, it's just a bunch of these widgets put together and then filled out with default information. So it saves you a lot of time of dragging and dropping all these different widgets and trying to figure out a layout that looks clean. If you import the site, you go ahead and you have a layout that already looks good. So I'm going to show you how you can edit different things, and then obviously if you want to add more different widgets, you can just kind of drag and drop them in. So the first thing you can do is you can literally just click on anything to edit it. So I can click on this text and I can get rid of it, and I can just start typing whatever I want. So in this case, I could start typing. So since this is going to be the main header, the main home screen of your site, you would probably put something here like your tagline or something, depending on what type of site you're trying to build. So if it's like a marketing agency, like in this example, I could put something like, do you want more online leads for your business? And you can see it's really easy to go ahead and edit this text, and we can come in here and we can edit the text from this end here if we want, and we can go over here and change like the alignment. So we can align it left, align it center, right. Most of the time you're just going to keep it center. That normally looks the best. And we can also edit different things like the style. So if we come over here, now we can edit things like the text color. So I can make it red, blue, green, pretty much whatever color you want. Now when it comes to colors, you're normally going to want to match it up with the branding of your site. So you'll notice a lot of sites, they essentially use the same color scheme throughout the entire site. So that's something that you're going to want to stick to as well. And it's also going to depend on the background photo here. So in this case, I will keep it at white. And we can also change things like the typography. So you can make it really big, really small. I think it looks better right around this size. We can go ahead and change a bunch of different things like the font family. So we can go ahead and change the font to, let's say, just Arial. We can change it to Verdana, pretty much whatever you want. One thing to keep in mind is if you change the font in one place, you're going to want all the font throughout your site to be pretty congruent. So if you change the font here, you'll probably want to change it everywhere else. So for the sake of this tutorial, we're going to keep it simple. We're going to keep it at default. But just know this is how you can go ahead and edit that. And then you can also add a text shadow if you want. So you can do things like blur it. And it's really hard to see that show up right there because of the background, but if you look closely, you can see the blur on the outside. And you can see that we can add the text shadow. You can see the shadows right there, just little effects. In this case, we're not going to do any of that. We're just going to keep it at 0. And that's how you can go ahead and edit the different text and things like that. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to click on this button. And now that we're clicking on the button, we can see that we can go ahead and change the text in here just like before. So I could type in something like free consultation. And then this is where we can put the link to where we want this button to link to. So let's say we have a page that's like our discovery form, or we have our contact form. In this case, I'll just keep it simple and we'll go ahead and put the contact form link here. So if they click on they want a free consultation, they'll go to the contact form. Now, depending on the type of site you're building, you just want to go ahead and make sure that it links to the correct page. In the case of a marketing agency, you would usually have this lead to some sort of discovery form where you set up like a phone call or something. But in this case, I'm just going to hover over contact, right click and copy link address, and then I'm going to Control V to put that in here. So now this button will lead to the contact page, and whatever link you put in here is where the button's going to go, so just keep that in mind. And we can also change things like the size of the buttons. We can make it really tiny, or we can make it really big. In this case, I'll make it large. So now what we can do is we can go ahead and edit the style of the button a little bit. So just like before, we can edit the typography a little bit. So we can change the size. So we can mess with that a little bit. We can do things, we can change the letter spacing a little bit. So you can see that just spaces out the letters, and doing this different stuff actually edits the button size itself. Now what I would recommend is just probably not messing around with this too much unless you really want to, dive deep into editing very small things. I just wanted to show you how to go ahead and be able to do this, but I wouldn't recommend changing too much of it because it's just going to overcomplicate things. So like you can change the style, change the style of the text, but we'll just go ahead and keep it at default. And the main thing you're really going to be editing here is the text color and the background color. So we can click on this and we can go ahead and change the background color to, let's say, gray, and gray matches the color of our logo, so that makes sense. And we can go ahead and change the text color to like black, but black doesn't really look good on gray, so we'll just go back to white. And like I said, you just put whatever color matches the branding of your site you're trying to go for. And then once we have this set up, we can just click update. And now at this point, I'm going to show you how we can go ahead and change this background image here. So we're going to click on these dots right above the section, click edit section. And what we're going to do now is go to style. And now you can see that there is an image right here, and this is our background image. So what I want to do is I'm going to put in a different image just to show you how to do that. So we can click on delete, and now this image is gone, and now you can see it's just a blank color. Now what we want to do is go ahead and put our own image in here. So I already have an image on my computer I'm going to use, but if you don't have an image that you want to use, I'm going to show you a couple websites that you can use really quick to find free stock images that look good. So the first one is Pixabay.